Here we see the Greek text of the Rosetta Stone, wherein the name Ptah or Ptha is used 5 times. If, however, we switch to the letter A, we see that it's used 948 times. Here we see the actual stone of the Greek text. Here we see the hieroglyphic section of the Greek text, wherein the ho is used, which is the sign behind letter A, is used twice in the so-called Rosetta long cartouche. And here we see the so-called in choral text, meaning country writing as Young calls it, or hieratic writing, among other names, which is sort of cursive hieroglyphs. And this led to the early view that the name Ptolemy, which is on the Rosetta Stone in the Greek text about 10 times, was spelled in choral text by these characters, according to Anton Sayce, and also Johann Akerblad before him, who debated this for 10 years as to specifically which of these in choral signs spelled the name Ptolemy. Eventually, Sayce ended up communicating these ideas to both Thomas Young and Champollion. And by (1814), we see Young commenting to Hudson Gurney that, "You tell me that I shall astonish the world if I make out the inscription on the Rosetta Stone. I think it, on the contrary, astonishing that it should not have been made out already, and that I should find the task so difficult as it appears to be." This is from page 143 of Andrew Robertson's The Last Man Who Knew Everything. The updated view is shown here as to what exactly we can decipher from the Rosetta Stone. Namely, the ho sign U6B is used 2 times, and it was originally defined as the hieroalpha by Kircher, which Young cites and knows about, or knew about. These are the semantic signs found on the Rosetta Stone 2 times for the god Ptah, which is an abacus, a bread loaf, and a candle wick. And the god sign for Ptah is shown here. He has 1 leg and he spins. His body is the fire drill. So this is the stick you spin to start a fire, and the top part is the hard stick. The bottom is the softwood base, and you spin it to make fires, or make a flame, or make ashes, which you blow on in grass, which makes a flame, which you can use to light a candle wick, or a lamp, or a lantern, or a candle. And here we see A is used 948 times. This became the first letter, the whole symbol in the Phoenician alphabet and Greek alphabet. Letter I is used 902 times. This became the falcon, or bird with two claws grabbing onto prey, which became the G, which is the originated from the G5 sign. Theta is used 118 times in the Rosetta Greek text, and Phi is used 669 times. This became the 23rd letter, value 500. Name Phi, or Phi plus I, which equals 510 in the Greek alphabet. Which is the 23rd letter. So this fire drill became the character Phi. So the circular part here is what lights the flame of the sun in this softwood base, and the vertical part is the hardwood stick of the fire drill. And this became the word Phtha, used 5 times in the Greek text of the Rosetta Stone, which became the Greek word Phtha, and in English we call it Ptah now, and it has a value of 510, just like the Greek word for Phi, which has a value of 510. So in short, the updated Rosetta Stone decoding is that the whole became letter A, originally used 2 times in the Rosetta Stone because it's the sacred hieralpha, and it became, by the time the Rosetta Stone was written, going from the Phoenician alphabet to the Rosetta Stone about 800 years later, used 948 times, the most dominant letter in the Greek text, or thereabouts. The fire drill became letter Phi, used 69 times, a value 500, value 500 in Greek numerals. And the fire drill plus the falcon, or 500 plus 10, became Phi, 510. And the god Ptah was written 5 times in Greek, or the sign for the fire drill god Ptah became the Greek word Phtha. So when the Greek alphabet formed, the Greek name of the fire drill god, the U28 sign, whose god sign is C19, was set as an isonym, or equal isonym word to the name of the 23rd Greek letter Phi, such that Ptha equals 5, which equals 510. So this is proved by the Rosetta Stone, and this is the main thing we learn from the Rosetta Stone. And this was decoded last year by me. Historically, however, we have Johann Akerblad and Anton Sayce, who, as we said, tried to figure out the inchoral or middle script version, or tried to find the name Ptolemy in this script, is a word like this, which basically is seems to be a bunch of nonsense. But Young, communicating with Johann Akerblad and Anton Sayce by way of letter communication, eventually took it into his mind that somehow the name Ptolemy, or Ptolemaeu, phonetic version here, or this phrase, Ptolomeo Eaunu I Gapomeno Ipotau Fetha. In English, Ptolemy, eternal, living forever, beloved of Ptah, had to be found somewhere in the hieroglyphic section of the Rosetta Stone. So Young decided that these are called the Rosetta short cartouches. There's 3 of them. These are called the Rosetta long cartouches. There's 3 of those as well. So Young decided that, starting with the lion here, that makes the OL of Ptolemy, and this spells Ptolemy this way, Ptolemy in this first part. And that's where Egyptology starts. So Young decided the lion makes the OL sound, the abacus makes the pi sound, and the bread loaf makes T. This symbol here makes M. The 2 reeds or pens makes I, according to Young, and this is the mummy handcloth of the Senate game, makes S, because we believed it looks like a Greek sigma or Coptic S. This all started with Young's Encyclopedia Britannica Egypt article. It was written in 1818 or 137A, but eventually published as a supplement to Britannica the following year in 1819. And then if you go to section 7.56, he goes on to argue that the Egyptians were spelling the name Ptolemy like the Chinese did for foreign names, using sort of simplified phonetic hieroglyphs, and that the ring was similar to the Chinese mouth sign. And he goes on to argue that Ptolemy is spelled inside of the rings like this, and this is where Egyptology starts. And Champollion eventually got on the Young bandwagon and wrote relative alphabet of the phonetic hieroglyphs, and then he expanded on this into his Egyptian grammar and corresponding Egyptian dictionary. But to conclude, the point of this is to show that all of this is incorrect. For example, Young said that the Ho sign was actually the Egyptian sign for Ptah, whereas actually the A is the Ho sign. And then Champollion conversely said that the Ho sign means love in Coptic, or Mary, and that Ptah is these 3 signs, which this is correct. These are the quadrat signs, or the semantic signs for Ptah, the abacus, the bread, and the candlewick, but it's not the origin of the letter Phi, and it's not the letter of H, and it's not the letter of T, as Champollion believed, but Egyptologists, status quo Egyptologists presently believe this, which is called false model, or the old model. So to conclude, what we learn from the Rosetta Stone is that The sacred hoe is used 2 times. The semantic signs for Ptah, the abacus, which is used to calculate at the end of the year when the sun is going to be relit in order that the flood will come and bread will be grown the next year, is used 2 times. And this, when alphabet formed, SWAT became upgraded to the fact that the hoe became the most dominant vowel, letter A. The abacus, or the fire drill sign, the fire drill, which is the body of Ptah, became letter Phi, which is used 69 times. And this is proved by the fact that the word value of Ptah, 510, equals the word value of Phi. As shown here. This is what we learned from the Rosetta Stone.